Stealth? Where's the fun in that? Well, if any series has proved that sneaking around is just as good, if not better, than going in guns blazing, it's Metal Gear, and this is the first one. Long before cardboard boxes and cutscenes that rival a Hollywood blockbuster became series trademarks, there was this. I say this is the first game in the series, it kind of is. Basically, the original Metal Gear came out in Japan for the MSX2, but for the NES, the game had to be altered severely. Changes include new areas, as well as the removal of the actual Metal Gear robot from the game, making this version of the game more than just a port. You play as super ninja-like espionage guy, Solid Snake, on a mission to destroy Metal Gear to save the world. Yeah, forget Mario saving the Mushroom Kingdom, because this is where it's at. I mean, Solid Snake has to be the coolest video game character since Dig Dug, and that guy had a bike pump. For some reason though, Solid Snake looks exactly like Kyle Reese from the Terminator on the box art. You start off the game, not with a gun or anything like that, no, you have cigarettes, because that second-hand smoke will wipe out the enemy in no time, won't it? Anyway, this is a stealth game, as you ideally try to sneak around, evade enemies, receive radio transmissions, scavenge for items, and various other things. The problem is that it doesn't work as well as it should do. Frequently you'll find yourself up against absurd enemy placement and level design that do things such as have enemies reappear after using equipment and having to leave the screen and re-enter it from a different side, just to go inside a truck. It's things like this that really hamper Metal Gear. Not to mention, when you die you continue from the beginning. Sure, you get all your items intact, but that's not going to help you much. There's also a ridiculously lengthy password system if you're trying to beat the game over the course of multiple sittings, horrendous translations, and sometimes when you go in certain directions on some screens, it'll just repeat the screen. If you're not meant to go in that direction, then it should be blocked instead of repeating the screen. However, the game is still good. The parts that it gets right feel so right. You feel like you're on an adventure, and there aren't many games throughout the entirety of the industry that make you feel this way, as most just send you on a simplistic path. But Metal Gear makes you think, try different stuff, and become sick of the opening jungle section. Seriously, you're going to have to replay this part so many times that you're going to have it memorized better than your own home. There are so many glitches, so many issues with the game that it should be terrible. The funny thing is, the majority of these problems aren't present in the original version, and while the NES release managed to damage so many things, it somehow retains the great sense of adventure. As I mentioned, you can pick up items. These include some weapons, and my favourite has to be the grenade launcher, not because of its usefulness, but because it's a grenade launcher, and you're really not doing a good job tearing up the bad guy's base unless you're helping redecorate it with one of these. What's that? You want a crater over there? Well, if you say so. Maybe next time there'll be Dig Dug's bike pump at your disposal. The game is so very hard because you have a health bar that is by no means generous, and again the frustrating glitch aspects are something you're just going to have to learn about in order to try and get beyond them. Once you get into Metal Gear and see through the flaws, you're going to have a fun time saving the world, dispatching of enemies in a way that makes you feel about as secret agent-like as the NES can make you feel. By the end of it all, I assume Solid Snake will have destroyed Metal Gear, saved the world, wiped out an army of bad guys with second-hand smoke, got engaged to Princess Zelda, and be home in time to play some Dig Dug. Because even Solid Snake knows he can't be better than a game in which your weapon is a bike pump. This is Metal Gear, and it's as brutally unfair and as masterfully captivating as they come on the system. It's not perfect for sure, but what it does offer is something so few games do, that you simply have to have a go at Metal Gear. Because what other Nintendo games give you cigarettes?